It's dungeon grinding time. So it is now week 3 of the ancient events and we have a new dungeon week to get into. And if we click start brawl here, we can see what the enemy dragons are. And using this information, we can determine which dungeon pool it is. And I'm sure many of you will be very happy to know that this is actually pool 8. And this pool is full of fire dragons. This is arguably the best dungeon pool out of all of them. If you ever want to gem during a dungeon and you have fire, for instance, this is usually almost always going to be the best run and usually the most reliable because there aren't any like energy dragons really to take you out later on. So you know, if there's a time to grind, it is going to be this dungeon pool. Of course, logging in as normal is also going to be advised, but in general, do so much of your dungeon grinding this week for most players will be by far the best thing for them to do. So, yeah, for anyone that was waiting for a good dungeon week to come around, this is your shot. So, yeah, this is what I'm going to be doing this week, especially since I'm off, so there's never a better time to grind dungeon than while you are off from doing other important life things. So we can have a nice, relaxing, chillaxed time grinding out these dungeon quests during this wonderful, beautiful dungeon week. So, yeah, it seems like patience has paid off. Unfortunately, it does mean that if you wanted to try and gem for Solden, that you've obviously missed out on Solden now because he's gone skis. But for anyone that just wanted to go for Zolto, this is a fantastic week for you. And again, you can always double check the DML Wiki's dungeon page at any time to check which week it is. And this is definitely, as you can see, a lot of fire dragons, so I'm basically just going to keep my fire dragon squads up. We're going to keep doing fire attacks to get the weak tasks done, and then we're going to power up with ancient in order to get the defeating tasks and such done. And that's essentially how I'm going to play this whole dungeon. This whole dungeon week is just going to be grind week. Oh, it feels so fantastic. It's just that point where you've been waiting for something. It's like, it surely has to be pool 8 soon. I don't think it had been pool 8 for a while, so we were sort of building up to a pool 8 this week, and who would have thunk it? It has worked in our favour. But of course, in the first few runs, generally we're going to be going for KO counts as well. But main thing is still looking at those tasks, seeing how many you can get done, and then going from there. So, yeah, I guess we should pop our ancient dragon in here, and then when one of these gets taken out, the idea would be to put our stronger ancient in, but we will do that in a moment. So, yeah, if you ever want to ask how do you do your dungeon runs, like what's the idea behind them, and how do you play during the good dungeon weeks, for instance, is a question on a lot of newer players' minds. It's essentially waiting for a good dungeon week, having the right dragons prepared for it, and then just going ham. That's basically it. And sometimes you might get taken out because maybe something unfortunate happens during a run or something else, but for the most part, as long as you've got a mostly consistent set of runs going, you should be fine. So, yeah, it's like our Emerger there just got subdued, so usually we'd be focusing on taking out subdued dragons. But, again, we don't have a lot of damage and a lot of HP at this time because we've just started our run. This is our very first run, in fact. So we're not going to have all those special bonuses yet. We will do those later. But, at the same time, Ancient is going to help us a little bit here. We're hoping that Saini gets taken out, really, so that then we can swap in our better fire user to do more damage. But, it's fine. It's fine this way. Saini's basically a part of the main team now because he's, you know, at the same level as them now. It's just obviously Saini can't leech and he can't do all that extra stuff, which, if only Saini could. Imagine if Saini was just an ancient. I suppose then he wouldn't count towards the fire tasks when we get them in various events. So that's why we love him the way he is. But you know, I'm just saying, it could be different. Things could be different, beautiful Samey, you wonderful, wonderful beast. But, hey, here we are. So I don't think we're gonna be able to... Oh, we can kill this guy. Lovely, lovely. There are 2 dragons dead. We need to do 1 more for a 70. But we need to be careful. At 30 KOs, that's where they start really doing a lot of damage, one-shotting at Roger close to at times. So, gotta be careful of that. But it's gonna be a bit of a grind going through on these guys. Who's got the most damage? Looks like Cupcake. Then we are gonna heal up. I don't trust it. Then we're gonna try and... I guess we could use Legendary on there, and then we can, you know, get them closer and closer to Deathsville. This is the scary part, because I believe that we need to Bless here and then Shield, which should be okay, but it's about trying to manage these two, and now our Bless isn't as strong, our Saney doesn't have as strong of an attack, but we did kill them. But that didn't count. Why did that not count? Why did that bounce back not count? I thought that that was a weak attack. Am I going insane? I might be. And by that I mean I definitely am. But yeah, sometimes unfortunate things happen during dungeon runs and, you know, screw things over for you. It happens. It's happened to the best of us many times. And like here we are at a point where Nez is probably going to die as well because of the unfortunateness. Honestly, I got to the point where I thought I'd done that weak attack quest and then it just messed with my brain. So whatever, 32. Not as good as I wanted it to be, but we can come back in 10 minutes, do it again. That's what happens when you get distracted. Don't get distracted like me. I get distracted doing dungeon runs a lot when I'm talking. But anyway, we've also got Coco Crab in this week, and of course the other thing that we have going on this week is the solo adventure, which has in it the brand new White Whale Dragon. And there's a lot of hate on this ugly boy, but you know, he's got a charm to him. We've got a lot of event currency and him being the only rewards from this, so we need to do these tasks being collect gold, feed dragons, and level up dragons. Which, you know, pretty self-explanatory, really. Collecting gold, feeding, that sort of thing. It's the only problem is sometimes in solo events they do also have quests relating to breeding, and when you're trying to do that alongside the regular ancient event stuff, it can get a little bit messy. It can definitely get a little bit messy. So yeah, keep all of that in mind. Feeding, leveling up, we can do that with the War Dragon method that we've been using anyway. So, you know, some of the tasks are going to, I guess, cross over for both events that are ongoing. But just be careful about the breeding task, because, again, sometimes you'll get the breeding task in solo events and you don't want to screw over your regular breeding in ancient events. That would be very much no bueno. But we fed him up, we've got all of the points that we can get for now, we're going to sell him, and then that should be all that we can do for the short term, but we'll wait a few more minutes, we'll come back, and then we'll be able to do the rest of this. But, you know, even if you don't get the White Whale, just getting all of the event currency seems pretty good, right? And White Whale is in tier number 7, which is interesting as well. It seems like there's been some changes to this, slightly, but... you know, at the same time, we'll get through this. I'm sure that the DML wiki will be updated with all of the details on this event as well as it usually is. You could also gem, but I don't think you really should for like these tiers because they're super quick, super easy. And the other thing that we've got that's come back is Movie Marathon. This was actually here not very long ago. And now if you watch lots and lots of ads, you can get yourself 45 gems, Relics of Hatching, Relics of Breeding, well, singular ones, and VIP tickets. So I highly recommend that if you have this, that you should do this if you've just got spare time. It's a lot of ads, and the ad system in this game is a lot worse than in Dragon City, unfortunately. But if you have the ability to do it, I highly recommend that you do it. It's a lot easier with dual monitors, like in my instance, I've got 2 monitors, so I can just ignore it completely while I do something else. Oh, am I gonna skip this? No, I'll skip that one instead. Even though that one's a higher tier chest, I can't skip using a skipping token on a 30-minute timer. Like, that's just a waste. I can't do it. I physically cannot do it. Okay, I've done it before, but I can't do it. I say I can't do it, and then I'll do it next time 100%. But, you know, it just makes me feel sick using a skip timer when there's, like, 20 minutes on it. Like, who would do that? Maybe I should have done it on the 1 hour one, but maybe we'll have to use one in a second anyway. But I love having ruin relics handy just so that I can do things like that. And then we've got battles to do as well, so let's go and use our VIP tickets on these side quest battles. Of course, you could just use these, or do these using regular energy. I'm sort of saving up my energy, because I kind of want to get up to 1,000. I have used a little bit, just between using VIP tickets and doing regular fights. But I'd love to get up to 1,000 energy, and then just spend all of it. Maybe we could do that for like a golden gathering event or something. That would be interesting, to see if we could even compete then. Honestly, I don't think we'd be able to still. Depends on how whaley it gets. You know what I mean? But anyway, we collect that. Scoring perfect hits, I'm not going to do that. Petting dragons. We can pet some dragons quick. And then we're going to go and do our bonus task from the ancient event board. So there's quite a lot of things to be taking into account this week. And the other thing that I haven't actually looked at yet is the changeover to ZEPHUJIN in the ancient altar. Because again, we know that Soldan's gone now, and ZEPHUJIN is the new boy that is in there. And he's gonna cost the same as all the others, so realistically you can go for him if you want to, but if you want to go for Zolto, usually not a good idea. There's some more gems. I feel like I'm getting gems out of the wazoo at the moment. Am I the only one that thinks that? I just feel like there's been gems everywhere. Like, I'm back up to 900. I did gem a few runs last week just for the fun of it, but this is definitely going to be the main gemming week if we decide to do it. But all of that is done for now. Dragon board, collecting gold. We need to do that for a couple more. Blah, 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 blah. Collect, 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 collect. And then now we can come back, collect 3 ancient keys. So we just need to basically open a chest here, which is easy peasy lemon squeezy. So this is essentially how I would play my resets during the start of a new week, like on a Monday when I can actually go and play. This is what I do in that order. Dungeon first. Well, it could be solo, then dungeon first, or dungeon solo, but you can start the dungeon run and then come back to it in a little bit. So you don't actually have to waste any time, realistically. My god, can you give me anything that I want? Ugh. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we got 2 further up, we could go for a 6. There we go. That's what I wanted. He was just giving me the same numbers. I'm like, geez, am I just seeing things? It's like not changing at all. Now we can go for a 1 or a 2 for this. Please, game. There we go. That was a little bit painful, but we got there in the end. Open up another one. We get a divine. Excellent, Matt. Hell yes. And we get 5 pieces of O1, which doesn't really matter. We're going to get through guaranteed chests anyway. So that is this done for now. And we also have a lot of ancient tickets to use. I don't know when I'm going to use them. We've got all of these from last week, and then, you know, if we gem the dungeon, we're going to have a hell of a lot more. But like I said, Ancient Altar now has Zalik, and Lamulin, and ZEPHUJIN. But ZEPHUJIN is an old ancient that was available in the metal event. But yeah, I don't know. ZEPHUJIN is weird. I say metal. He is a metal dragon, but windy as well. But yeah, we will decide what we want to do with all of our talismans and such. I still think that everyone should be going for these premium sigil chests if they can, because they're just very good value. 100 of these horns for a chest is definitely worth it. And the other thing I haven't actually checked is the shop. What's in the dungeon shop this week? We've got Painting Dragon, which if you've never had that, it's in there. And basically nothing else of value apart from a double egg relic. So I guess I didn't even need to check. Didn't need to check at all. And we got a dungeon run coming up again in 1 minute time. So that is what my plan is going to be for today. So with all these different things and events and quests and such going on, don't get too confused with everything. Just, you know, always check the solo event progress to see if you can collect another item first, and use the wiki's tables when they get updated to let you know when, you know, you should log in to collect again. And just keep on top of those 6-hour dungeon resets and things when they come up. And then this week, if you're gonna gem, you should probably do it now. That's my final warning. If you don't do it this week and you wait until next week, it's probably not going to be quite as good. So, I'm just saying, just letting you know. So realistically, all the people that spent all those gems in the previous weeks, yeah, I would say that they probably ultimately made a mistake. Now knowing this, but at the same time, hindsight is 20/20, and there was no guarantee that we would get a better dungeon week than, well, I guess last week wasn't that fantastic, so there were a few chances of getting a better dungeon week this week. But this is why you can gem during the meh weeks, but then you might get a dungeon week like this one again, which, again, is full of fire dragons, and you can just basically decimate everything and get tons and tons of event currency on the way. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say apart from good luck with your runs. I hope that they all work out fantabulously. And I hope that you get nice quests and not quests that you can't do, because no one likes bad quests. Bad quests are bad. We don't want bad quests. And also, early on, most of the dragons don't have level 6 upgrades, so sometimes you can just shield your dragons and keep them alive because they're not going to die to slow burn or anything. And that's generally what you can do with lower level dragons rather than using your bless with a divine or anything else. For example, you can just use your shield. And, you know, just be careful that when the next round of dragons comes in, they don't immediately kill you. That's something to be aware of. But, you know, I'm sure that players that have been playing this event for many times now understand this. It's just a reiteration for any newer players or anyone that's not sure how to grind in the dungeon and what that actually means. This is what it means. I probably should have used light there. But it means just, you know, rather than trying to kill things sometimes, just don't kill them. Keep them alive. Keep yourself alive. Be smart about it. And try and focus on those quests. That's ultimately what the dungeon is. So just do that and you'll probably be Gucci this week. So I at least want to get this quest done. 2 normal attacks. Yes, it is very long and it can get very boring. Yes, I know. It can, 100%. But it is worth it if you want to get the best dragons in the game. This is realistically how people get Zolto free to play. Like, I get people all the time saying, oh my god, but I'm free to play, which means I can't get Zolto. You can. Like, I haven't spent in a long time now, and although I get VIP benefits and I've got decent dragons, you don't have to have that. You just have to grind a bit more than, say, I would have to. So, we will continue on now, probably play the dungeon mostly as normal now that we've gotten to this stage and these sets of dragons here. Because we do have a couple of energy dragons that pop up, but, you know, they're so early on that they can't really do anything to us. Not like the Aurora dragon and, who was the other one last week that a lot of people were screaming about. It's like, I can't kill it! I can't one-shot it! It's like you have to be paired with Ancient in some instances to be able to immediately take down dragons like that sometimes. So you have to know when they're going to pop up. You have to have your team ready in like the right order. Yeah, so there's a few different things. He has slow burn, so it might not be worth me shielding Apollo here. I'm going to do it anyway. But he's probably going to die to this guy anyhow. But we'll see. You gonna get Apollo? Yeah, Apollo's gonna die. Knew it! I knew it! There's no saving them when they have slow burn. If they don't have slow burn, that's when the shield tactic is really good, like I said, because you can just keep farming. But when they do have slow burn, like this stinky sulfur dragon, sometimes you just gotta let them die. They just gotta get killed sometimes. Very depressing, but it is the reality that we live. So, on we go! Lots and lots of fire dragons. Ah, you have no idea how glad I am to see this. I was predicting it in a few places, but I didn't want to, you know, make any bold claims because, you know, I'm not going to make any bold claims about knowing what dungeon weeks are coming up. Just felt like this was going to be the week. This was going to be the grind week. I timed my time off fantastically. Am I just that all-knowing that I predicted this week would be the best one to take off? Apparently. But we are probably going to be dying sometime soon. I just wanted to keep this up with, you know, this video so that anyone that wanted to see this as I go through this run for somewhat, it is only the early runs that I'm doing here, but just in case anyone wanted to see it and, you know, see how I handled things essentially in this run, this is it. This is how we do it. But I kind of want to get both of these quests done at the same time, defeat 2 dragons with 1 blow, but it's not happening. Because is that going to kill him? Surely it won't. I don't think it's going to kill them both, is it? Oh, it did. Just. I think that was quite close, but yeah, we're A-okay in the end. We need to heal with Nizha, but at the same time, we can't heal yet. Next time will be the healing. Sucks that we don't get an attack off with Saini there, so I am going to shield and then we're going to heal. And that's the order that we're going to do this. And now we should be able to continue on. And this is also the reason why having a healer is so important, and having 2 shielders actually does help me in some situations, although it's not as good as having 2 healers. Like, nowhere even close. Oh god. I was gonna say, Ben's gonna die, so I wanted to try and time it in a way that a divine could come up, but no. See, it's also a risk when you use your lower tier dragons. Sometimes this can happen and you don't even get a chance to use, say, Ikez. So that can happen, but, you know, just in general, it's a showcase of how to grind out the earlier levels. If I had more evenly leveled dragons, then we'd be able to do a lot more. And plus, I'm not doing the super grind methods because they take too long, but, you know, it's a general showcase of how this week is going to be for me and a lot of other people. Be very careful about turn orders and things like that, because you don't want to die early like I did, but that's what you got to do in these dungeon weeks if you want to get lots of currency and lots of tasks done, basically. So I'm going to open this last chest here, and then that's probably going to be us done for now. So yeah, we can open up all of these. I'm going to be opening up every chest apart from probably these 2. And it's just going to be grind central. Truly, truly, it will be grind central. We've also got these quests to do again. Again, they come back up so often that you have to be checking like all the time. It's like, do I even have a low level dragon? I have a level 20. Let's level him up. And now I'm going to have to wait again. So yeah, I'll wait a few more minutes, come back, get some event currency, move on to tier 2, and off we shall pop. But anyway, I'm sure I've taken up enough of your time for now. I appreciate you joining me. Best of luck in dungeon. Again, you could do better than I did in those 2 runs, so I want to see it. Good luck, get those KO counts going, get those tests done, and may you be blessed with many ancients.